where we turn spare change into serious change. Now, before you toss that penny on the ground or into your piggy bank, hold on a second. What if I told you there's a 2016 Lincoln Memorial penny, yes, the good old 1-cent coin, that could be worth over $1 million? I know, sounds like one of those get-rich-quick schemes your Uncle Joe talks about at family dinners, right? But stick with me, because today we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that's currently valued at a whopping $1.6 million. If you think pennies are just a nuisance in your pocket or a reminder to never buy coffee with exact change, you're about to have your mind blown. So buckle up, grab a snack, and let's uncover what makes this humble coin a potential goldmine. Alright, so let's break it down. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909, yes, more than a century. And it's a symbol of American history with Honest Abe's face stamped on the front. The 2016 penny features the classic Lincoln Memorial on the back, a design that was in use from 1959 all the way until 2008. But wait, you said 2016, right? Yes, that's part of the mystery and what makes this coin special. In 2016, the U.S. Mint switched to the Union Shield design on the back of the penny. But there are reports of a rare batch of 2016 pennies mistakenly struck with the old Lincoln Memorial design. And the kicker? These rare coins have no mint mark, that little letter that tells you where your coin was made, like P for Philadelphia or D for Denver. This misprint is incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors because it shouldn't exist. It's like finding a secret menu item at your favorite fast food joint that nobody else knows about. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of value, I have to share a funny story. A few years ago, my buddy Mike, you know, the guy who collects everything from comic books to old concert tickets, calls me up and says, "Hey, I found a penny that looks different." I'm thinking, oh great, another coin that's been chewed on by a toddler or dropped in the couch cushions. So he brings this coin over, and it's one of those 2016 pennies with the Lincoln Memorial on the back instead of the Union Shield. I'm staring at it thinking, did someone just glue on a sticker or is this for real? We did some digging in BAM, turns out it was a rare misprint worth thousands, not just a dime. Fast forward, that penny is now valued at a cool $1.6 million on the market. Talk about a lucky find. I mean, Mike could have just bought a fancy dinner or upgraded his old couch, but instead, he's sitting on a potential fortune. You might be asking, why on earth would a penny be worth $1.6 million? Well, it comes down to rarity and demand. The 2016 no-mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny is a classic case of a minting error that collectors dream about. There's only a handful known to exist, making it incredibly rare. Collectors love coins with errors because they're unique. The fewer of them out there, the more they're willing to pay. Plus, the Lincoln penny has sentimental value. It's the most circulated coin in America, and everyone knows it. So when you get a version that's wrong but rare, it's like owning a piece of a secret history. Now, don't go digging through your couch cushions expecting to find $1 million penny in any condition. The value skyrockets if the coin is in pristine shape, what collectors call mint condition or uncirculated. Any scratches, dents, or discoloration can drop the value big time. Imagine finding a rare baseball card but it's bent and has coffee stains. Collectors won't pay top dollar for that, right? Same with coins. So if you stumble on a 2016 no-mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny, handle it like it's a fragile little treasure. The latest market value for this rare penny is about $1.6 million, and that price has been climbing steadily. But here's the catch, you can't just claim your coin is worth that and sell it on the spot. You need certification from a professional grading company to prove authenticity. Companies like PCGS or NGC examine the coin's details, condition, and verify it's not a fake. Once certified, you get a grade that tells collectors exactly what they're buying. Without this, you might just have a cool-looking penny. Look for the Lincoln Memorial on the back, not the usual Union Shield. No mint mark on the front, meaning no P or D near Lincoln's bust. The year 2016 is on the front. Check for the coin's condition. The better, the more valuable. If you find one, don't clean it or mess with it, that can ruin its value. Okay. Now that you're pumped up about this $1 million penny, let me share a few tips from my own experience. Check your everyday change carefully. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. Hit up local coin shops and flea markets. Sometimes people don't realize what they have. Get familiar with coin grading terms and what to look for in errors. Join online coin collecting communities. There's a whole world of enthusiasts who love to share info and trade tips, and if you find something cool, document everything and get it certified ASAP. The story of the 2016 No Mint Mark Memorial Lincoln Penny, a tiny piece of copper that could be worth a mind-blowing $1.6 million. From a minting mistake to a collector's dream, it's proof that treasure really can be hiding in your pocket. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to learn about more crazy valuable coins, quirky collecting tips, and how to turn your loose change into a fortune, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on future videos that could save you a fortune or at least give you some bragging rights at your next family gathering. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin or have a funny coin story, drop it in the comments below. I love hearing about your adventures. Who knows, maybe your story will be featured in the next video. Thanks for watching, keep hunting, keep dreaming, and until next time, may your pockets be full of pennies worth millions, where we turn pocket change into potential treasure hunts. Today, I'm about to blow your mind with a tiny coin that might be worth way more than your last paycheck. Yep, we're diving into the mysterious and surprisingly valuable 2003 No Mint Mark Memorial Lincoln Penny. Believe it or not, this little copper guy can fetch a whopping $1.7 million on the market right now. Yeah, you heard me right, over $1 million for a penny. Crazy, huh? Now, before you go digging through your couch cushions like a squirrel on a caffeine rush, stick around because I'm gonna tell you why this coin is such a rare gem, how to spot one, and I'll even share a hilarious story about the time I almost tossed out a stack of coins that included this very penny. Spoiler alert, I'm still kicking myself for almost missing out on a potential millionaire moment. Alright, first things first, let's break down what makes the 2003 No Mint Mark Memorial Lincoln Penny so special. Most pennies from that year come stamped with a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia, marking the mint where they were made. But this particular version? No mint mark at all. It's like a coin ninja, quietly slipping under the radar but packing a serious punch in the value department. You might be wondering why missing a tiny letter makes such a difference. Well, in the world of coin collecting, rarity is king. The No Mint Mark 2003 Lincoln Penny is a rare error coin because, officially, the Philadelphia Mint didn't release any pennies without a mint mark that year. So when you find one, it means it's either a super rare production mistake or some sort of mint anomaly. And collectors go nuts for that kind of stuff. Now, how rare are we talking? Experts estimate that only a few hundred of these no mint mark pennies exist, making them incredibly scarce. Scarcity plus demand equals serious value. That's why the current market value hits an eye-watering $1.7 million. Yep, million with an M. Look at the front, or the obverse, of the coin. You should see Honest Abe's profile. The key is right under the date, where the mint mark usually sits. There should be nothing. No D, no P, just blank, because these coins are so rare, they usually have a cleaner, more pristine look. If yours looks like it's been through a washing machine, well, good luck selling it for millions. If you suspect you have one, don't just toss it in your piggy bank. Take it to a professional coin grader or an expert who can verify its authenticity and condition. Now, let me tell you a little story from my own coin adventures. A couple years back, I was doing a deep clean of my old childhood room, you know, the kind of clean where you find ancient relics under your bed and maybe even some leftover Halloween candy from 2010. While sorting through an old jar labeled coins and stuff, I found a handful of pennies. I was about to chuck them because, let's be honest, pennies aren't exactly the jackpot, right? But something made me pause. One penny looked just a little off, no mint mark, clean edges, and the date was 2003. My heart skipped a beat as I pulled out my phone and started searching. Could it be the No Mint Mark Memorial Lincoln Penny? Long story short, after a tense few days of expert appraisals and sleepless nights, it turned out it wasn't exactly the rare error coin, but it was close enough to teach me a valuable lesson: always check your coins carefully. Because sometimes, your spare change might be hiding a jackpot. So here's the deal. Whether you're a casual coin collector or just someone who likes to poke around your pockets at the end of the day, the 2003 no-mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny is a reminder that magic can be hiding in the smallest places. Coins that look ordinary might just be worth millions. Before we move to the conclusion, here are some quick tips if you want to start hunting for valuable coins. Always check the mint mark area on pennies and quarters. Keep coins in good condition. Handling them too much or cleaning them improperly can reduce their value. Educate yourself on mint errors and rare coin varieties. Knowledge is your best tool. Join coin collector forums or local clubs. Sometimes the best finds come from swapping stories and tips with other enthusiasts. Alright, friends, if you've stuck around this long, you're officially in the know about one of the most fascinating and lucrative pennies out there, the 2003 no-mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny worth $1.7 million. Next time you're rummaging through your coins, don't just see them as pocket clutter, see them as potential gold mines, or at least as something that might fund your next dream vacation or fancy dinner. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more insider tips, stories, and strategies about coins that could make you serious money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on upcoming videos where we uncover hidden treasures hiding in plain sight. And hey, if you find a rare penny or have a crazy coin story of your own, drop it in the comments below. I love hearing your tales of near misses, lucky finds, and of course, those "why didn't I see that sooner" moments. Thanks for hanging out today. Keep hunting, keep dreaming, and keep those pennies close. You never know when one of them might change your life. See you next time. If you're like me and love hunting for coins that could turn your couch cushions into a small fortune, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into one penny that might just make you see sense in a whole new light, the 1964 mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny. Now, before you start rolling your eyes and thinking, a penny? Really? That's not worth my time. Hold up. This isn't just any penny. This little copper disc has a whopping market value of about $1.8 million. Yep, you heard me right. $1.8 million for a penny. If that doesn't make you want to check your old jars and piggy banks, I don't know what will. So stick around, because I'm gonna break down what makes this humble penny so valuable, how you can spot it, and even share a funny personal story about how I almost threw away a coin worth thousands of dollars without even knowing it. Spoiler alert, it involved a kitchen mishap and a very confused cat. Alright, let's get rolling. Let's start with the basics. The 1964 penny is part of the famous Lincoln cent series, which has been around since 1909. But what sets this one apart? Well, the 1964 penny itself is quite common, but the mint mark, meaning it was minted in Denver, combined with the memorial reverse design, makes certain examples rare, especially in pristine condition. The memorial design, by the way, features the Lincoln Memorial on the back, replacing the earlier wheat ears design. This reverse was used from 1959 through 2008. So plenty of pennies have this design. But it's the mint mark, the strike quality, and some specific rarities that make the 1964 penny a potential jackpot. Here's where it gets juicy. A few 1964 pennies were struck with errors or variations that are super rare, like double dies or proof-like finishes that collectors drool over. These rare versions are the ones that have been valued at around $1.8 million in auctions. Insane, right? Alright, so why on earth would a penny from 1964 suddenly be worth almost $2 million? Well, rarity is king in the coin world. The 1964 pennies were minted in massive numbers, billions, actually. But those errors and special proof-like versions are incredibly scarce. Think of it as the lottery of coins, except instead of winning cash, you win a tiny copper treasure. These rare pennies are typically found only in flawless condition, meaning no scratches, no wear, and that beautiful mirror-like surface. Collectors call this mint state or proof condition. You can imagine how many pennies from 1964 actually survived in perfect shape? Practically none. Also, these coins have a legendary status because of a few notable sales where they fetched massive sums. The demand from serious collectors and investors drives prices through the roof. It's like a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and demand. So, if you want to go treasure hunting, here's what you need to know to spot a 1964 Lincoln penny that might be worth more than just a cent. Check the mint mark. Look for the small d below the date on the front. That's your Denver mint mark. If the penny is shiny, with no scratches or wear, you might have something special. This is tricky and often requires a magnifying glass or even expert grading. Look for double dies or any weird extra markings. Some 1964 pennies have a mirror-like finish, almost like a proof coin. These are much rarer. If you're serious about it, you'll want to get any promising penny professionally graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Okay, time for a quick story. Years ago, I was doing some spring cleaning and decided to clear out an old jar of mixed coins. I wasn't exactly expecting to find any treasures, just loose change for parking meters. While dumping the jar on the kitchen table, I spotted a penny that looked a little shinier than the others. Without thinking much, I tossed it aside, right into the trash can. That's when my cat, Mr. Whiskers, jumped on the table, knocked the trash can over, and out rolled that shiny penny onto the floor. Curious, I picked it up and noticed the little D mint mark and that unmistakable Lincoln Memorial design. A quick Google search later, and I realized that penny might be a rare 1964 proof-like Lincoln penny worth thousands. I quickly checked the rest of the jar and found a couple more interesting coins that day. Moral of the story? Always check your coins carefully before tossing them. Your cat might just save your fortune. The last few auction sales put the value of top condition 1964 Memorial Lincoln pennies at around $1.8 million. The market can fluctuate, but the demand for rare coins like this has been growing steadily. Investors see these pennies as tangible assets, something you can hold, unlike stocks or crypto. And with the coin market getting more popular, values for rare finds are only expected to rise. That said, always be cautious. Not every 1964 penny is worth millions. Most are common and only worth a few cents or maybe $1 or $2 if in great condition. The key is knowing what to look for and getting expert advice. Alright folks, let's wrap this up. The 1964 mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny might look like just a tiny coin, but it holds the potential to be worth a massive fortune, like $1.8 million, kind of massive. It's all about rarity, condition, and that little D mint mark that can turn a simple penny into a treasure. If you've got any old pennies lying around, especially from the 1960s, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. And remember my story, never underestimate the power of a coin, or a curious cat. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare pennies and want more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could make you money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I've got tons more coin treasure hunts and market insights coming your way. Thanks for watching, stay curious, keep hunting those coins, and who knows, your next penny might just be your ticket to a fortune. Where we dig deep into the fascinating world of coins that could literally make you a millionaire. Today, I have an absolute gem for you. We're talking about the 1988 no mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny. Yeah, that little copper 1-cent coin you've probably flipped a million times and never gave a second thought to. What if I told you that one of those tiny pennies could be worth a whopping $1.9 million today? No joke. $1.9 million. That's enough to buy a fancy car, pay off some debt, or maybe just swim in a pool filled with pennies like Scrooge McDuck. So, stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this penny is a secret treasure and how you might spot one in your own pocket change. Before we jump in, if you love finding hidden value in coins, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any of my future tips on coin collecting and money-making strategies. Alright, let's get rolling. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1988 Memorial Lincoln penny is part of the classic Lincoln cent series, you know, the one with Honest Abe on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Most 1988 pennies you find will have a tiny letter near Abe's shoulder, a mint mark, either AD for Denver or AP for Philadelphia. But the superstar of today's story is the rare 1988 penny with absolutely no mint mark at all. Well, here's where things get interesting. The US Mint usually stamps these little letters to mark where the coin was made, so a penny without one from 1988 is an anomaly, a minting error that collectors drool over. And as with most errors, rarity drives value. People want them, and they're willing to pay big bucks for them. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, aren't pennies supposed to be worthless? I mean, you find those things on the ground, right? Well, yes and no. Sure, most pennies are just 1 cent, but when there's an error like a missing mint mark combined with excellent condition, like a coin that looks brand new and untouched, the value shoots through the roof. The current market value for a perfect 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny is estimated at $1.9 million. That's not a typo. Imagine if you pulled one of those out of your pocket one day instead of a soggy old receipt or gum wrapper. Instant millionaire status. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, my buddy Jake found an old box of coins his grandfather gave him. He wasn't a collector, just thought it was some family keepsake. Jake was casually flipping through them while we were hanging out one afternoon, and I noticed this shiny penny with no mint mark. We looked it up online and realized we might be sitting on a gold mine, well, copper mine, to be exact. Long story short, we sent it to a grading service, and boom, the coin was authenticated as a genuine 1988 no mint mark penny in pristine condition. Jake was shocked, I was pumped, and we both learned a valuable lesson about never underestimating the power of pocket change. Now, you're probably wondering how many of these pennies actually exist. The no mint mark error from 1988 is incredibly rare because most pennies had a P or D mark. Experts believe only a handful were minted without the mark, making it a collector's dream and pushing the price to those astronomical levels. Okay, let's break down what you need to look for if you want to spot this penny in the wild or in your collection. First, check the date, 1988, clear as day. Then look at the area just to the right of Lincoln's bust, that's where the mint mark would usually be. If there's no letter at all, you might have something special. But beware, condition is king. A coin that's scratched up or dirty won't fetch millions, so keep an eye out for coins that look shiny, crisp, and untouched. Also, watch out for fakes. Since this coin is worth millions, counterfeiters sometimes try to replicate the no mint mark error. The best way to avoid getting scammed is to get your coin professionally graded by trusted experts like the Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. They will authenticate the coin and give it a grade that reflects its condition, which hugely affects value. Now let's talk about why these coins become so valuable beyond just rarity. Coins like the 1988 no mint mark penny capture a little piece of minting history, a rare slip-up that escaped the usual quality checks. For collectors, it's like owning a secret piece of the mint's behind-the-scenes story. Plus, coins are tangible assets. They're small, easy to store, and historically have held value even during turbulent financial times. So not only are you holding a coin, but potentially a solid investment. If you're thinking about starting a collection or want to dig through your change for a chance at this or other valuable coins, here's a quick tip: always keep your coins in a dry, safe place. Avoid handling them with bare hands because oils from your skin can damage the coin's surface and reduce value. Use gloves or hold coins by the edges. Also, don't rush to sell. Coins like this appreciate over time, especially rare errors. So if you ever get lucky enough to find a 1988 no mint mark penny, consider getting it graded, then hold on to it while you watch its value grow. Lincoln pennies have been around since 1909, and over the decades, collectors have found all kinds of quirky errors that made certain pennies worth way more than their face value. So the 1988 no mint mark penny is just the latest in a long line of secret millionaire coins hiding in plain sight. Alright, folks, now you know why that tiny, often overlooked 1988 Memorial Lincoln penny with no mint mark can be worth a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. It's rare, it's a cool minting error, and it's a coin with a story that could make you smile, and maybe even change your life. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin treasure hunting, and want more tips, stories, and strategies on finding coins that are worth real money, don't forget to subscribe. I post videos every week to help you turn your pocket change into potential gold mines. And hey, if you have any questions or stories about your own coin finds, drop a comment below. I love hearing from you. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep those eyes peeled, and who knows, your next lucky penny might just be worth $1 million. Hey there, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your old coin jar or a dusty drawer at grandma's house, and bam! You find a little copper penny that turns out to be worth $1 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, today I'm going to tell you all about one such magical penny, the 1993 D Mint Mark Memorial Lincoln 1-cent coin. Yes, that tiny, humble penny that could secretly make you a millionaire. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know why this penny is so special, how to spot it, and maybe even how to find one yourself. Plus, I'll share a funny little story about the time I almost threw away a coin that could have changed my life forever. So hit that subscribe button now, so you don't miss out on any future tips about coins that could be hiding treasure right under your nose. Let's dive right in. Alright, let's get into the nitty-gritty. The 1993 D Mint Mark Memorial Lincoln penny is not your average penny. This coin belongs to the famous Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. It's the longest-running coin series in U.S. history, and people have been collecting these pennies for decades. Now, what makes the 1993 D special? It's the D Mint mark, which means it was struck at the Denver Mint, and it carries a unique value because of some rare qualities collectors go crazy for. First off, the 1993 D Lincoln penny is extremely rare in mint condition. Most pennies from that year are common and worth just their face value. But if you have one in flawless, mint state condition, with no scratches, dents, or discoloration, it could be worth a whopping $1 million. Well, it comes down to rarity and condition. The coin was produced during a year with high mintages, but pristine, untouched specimens are almost impossible to find. Plus, some 1993 D pennies have a slight minting error or variation that makes them even more sought after. You might be thinking, how many of these coins are floating around? Very few. And that scarcity drives up the price. The mint mark must be clear and precise. That little D on the coin's face tells the story. The coin should have sharp details, like Lincoln's profile, the inscriptions, and the date. No signs of wear or cleaning. Believe me, cleaning a penny can sometimes destroy its value faster than you can say heads or tails. The coin's luster should be intact. A shiny, coppery finish is what separates a valuable penny from a common one. That's a lot of coin nerd stuff. But how do I know if I have one? Great question. I recommend getting your coins appraised by a professional or sending them to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give your coin a grade on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect mint condition. The closer your coin is to 70, the higher its potential value. Here's a fun fact for you. In 1993, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, but only a handful survived in mint-perfect condition. And among those, the D Mint mark versions with certain minor errors or exceptional qualities are the holy grail for collectors. That's what pushes the price all the way up to $1 million. Now, let me share my own coin adventure with you. A few years ago, I found an old coin jar in my parents' attic. It was filled with pennies, nickels, and dimes from all sorts of years. I casually dumped them out on the table and started sorting. At first, I wasn't looking for anything special, just a little nostalgia trip, but then, as I flipped a 1993 D penny between my fingers, I noticed something unusual. The mint mark was perfectly sharp, and the coin gleamed like it had never touched a pocket or a cash register. My heart skipped a beat. I thought, could this be the penny worth $1 million? Turns out, I had just a regular 1993 D penny, but the excitement was real. It made me realize how easily valuable coins can be hiding in plain sight, even in your own house. So, don't toss those old coins out or spend them without checking. You might just be sitting on a fortune. Another cool thing about the 1993 D penny is that it symbolizes history, Lincoln's legacy, the craftsmanship of the mint, and the thrill of discovery. It's a tiny piece of Americana that could put $1 million in your pocket. If you're curious about investing in coins or want to start collecting, here's a quick tip: focus on condition and authenticity. Buy from reputable dealers and learn to spot signs of wear or cleaning. And most importantly, keep your coins safe and dry. Remember, coin collecting isn't just about money. It's about stories, history, and sometimes, pure luck. So, to wrap things up, the 1993 D Mint Mark Memorial Lincoln 1-cent penny coin is a fascinating piece of American history with a jaw-dropping market value of around $1 million if it's in mint condition. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just a curious newbie, it's worth knowing about this little penny that packs a big punch. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare pennies and want more tips, stories, and strategies about coins that are worth serious money, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode, because trust me, there's a lot more treasure waiting to be uncovered. And hey, if you find any coins in your old jars or drawers that seem unusual, share them in the comments. I love hearing your stories and helping you figure out if you're sitting on a hidden gem. Thanks for watching, keep hunting those coins, and remember, sometimes the smallest things can be the most valuable. See you next time. We're diving into something that might just blow your mind. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that looks like your everyday penny, the one you toss into vending machines, parking meters, or that annoying penny jar your grandma insists you keep. But what if I told you that this tiny, copper Lincoln penny from 1998, without a mint mark, could be worth over $1.1 million? Yep, you heard me right. $1,100,000 for a coin that costs 1 cent to buy. It sounds like a crazy joke, but stick around because we're going to unpack the story behind this rare gem, why it's so valuable, and how you might already have one sitting in your couch cushions. And hey, if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because I'm all about sharing coins worth serious money, cool collecting hacks, and maybe even a few wild stories along the way. So, let's get to it. Alright. First things first. The 1998 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is not your average penny. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia in that year either have a P mint mark or sometimes no mark at all. But this one is special because there's a version of this coin with no mint mark that's extremely rare, and collectors are practically drooling over it. Well, in 1998, the U.S. Mint produced pennies at multiple locations, Philadelphia and Denver being the big ones. The Philadelphia pennies usually have a P on them, but sometimes no mint mark appears at all, which can be a key sign of a rare variety. This variety is super limited, making it a jackpot for collectors who know what to look for. Just any 1998 penny without a mint mark is not automatically worth millions. Condition matters big time. We're talking about coins that are in pristine, almost flawless condition, the kind you'd expect to see in a museum, not your pocket change after a trip to the grocery store. These pennies are often graded at MS 70 or near perfect, which means no scratches, dents, or wear at all. Imagine the coin stayed untouched since it left the mint. Now, let me tell you a quick story because I love sharing this one. A few years ago, a buddy of mine named Mike was cleaning out his late grandfather's attic. Among old photos, dusty baseball cards, and some vintage comic books, he found a small jar of coins. Nothing fancy, or so he thought. But out popped this weird-looking penny, shining bright like it was fresh from the mint, but with no mint mark on it. Naturally, Mike thought it was just a regular penny and tossed it in his pocket. Later that week, I was visiting, and he showed it to me. I took one look and said, "Wait a minute, this might be something special." We did some research, and lo and behold, it matched the rare 1998 no mint mark penny description. Long story short, Mike ended up having it professionally graded, and the coin was worth over $1 million. Not bad for something that looked like pocket change, right? But why exactly does this coin fetch such a crazy price? Rarity, condition, and demand. Coin collectors go nuts for rare errors or varieties, especially ones with such a low production number and high quality. Plus, the Lincoln Memorial penny design is iconic, it was the face of American pennies from 1959 to 2008. That alone adds sentimental value. Now, the market for rare coins like this is pretty exciting. Auction houses sometimes see these pennies sell for over $1 million, depending on the condition and provenance. It's wild because you're essentially holding a piece of history and art that millions want to own. If you're wondering, hey, how do I know if my penny is one of these rare no-mint mark 1998 coins? I got you covered. You'll want to get a magnifying glass and look closely on the front and back of the penny. The mint mark, or lack thereof, is usually just under the date or near the rim. And keep in mind, just because there's no mint mark doesn't guarantee it's the rare version. It's all about tiny details and grading. If you think you have one, don't go rubbing it, washing it, or doing any crazy DIY cleaning because that can reduce its value instantly. Let the professionals at grading companies like PCGS or NGC handle it. Now let's talk about the investment side. Some people might say, a penny? Really? Is this just a fluke or a bubble waiting to pop? It's a fair question. Like any collectible, the market fluctuates, but rare coins have historically held value better than many other collectibles because they're tangible, limited, and have historical importance. One thing that's important to remember is that if you're getting into coin collecting or investing, knowledge is your best friend. Knowing what to look for, understanding grading, and following market trends can make the difference between a lucky find and a pricey mistake. And if you're curious about how coins can turn from cents to big bucks, I have a whole playlist on that. Just check the channel for more tips, tricks, and stories. Seriously, some coins today are worth hundreds of thousands or even millions, and you don't need to be a numismatic expert to get started. Alright, so here's the takeaway. The 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny might look like just another penny to the untrained eye, but to collectors and investors, it's a golden ticket worth over $1.1 million. If you happen to stumble upon one, especially in mint condition, don't just pocket it for parking meters. Get it checked out by the pros. That little coin could change your life, just like it did for my buddy Mike. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's rarest pennies, please give the video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more tips about coins worth serious money. And hey, share this with your friends or family who still have those dusty coin jars laying around. Who knows what treasures are hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we uncover even more crazy coin stories and money-making strategies. Until then, keep your eyes peeled, your coins shiny, and your wallets ready.